Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we are
Yeah.
going to be taking a deep dive into something that I think is really interesting.
Okay.
It's POSH training.
All right.
And we have a whole bunch of research and case studies here that we're going to be pulling from
Great.
to really kind of get into it.
Yeah. POSH training is one of those things that
Yeah,
a lot of times people just view it as a compliance exercise.
right. Exactly.
But when you look a little deeper, there's actually a much
Oh, yeah.
richer story there.
Yeah, so, I mean, you might be listening to this and you're an employee
Right.
and you're curious about this, or maybe you're a manager
Mm-hmm.
and you want to figure out how to make your workplace a better
Yeah.
place for everyone.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just like me and find this stuff super interesting.
Sure.
But so let's just get right into it.
Okay. So one of the things
Yeah.
that really jumped out at me from the research is this link
Okay.
between POSH and productivity.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Now, you might be thinking, how does preventing harassment
Right.
make people more productive?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
the data shows that companies with these robust POSH programs,
Hmm.
they see increases in all kinds of things, like project completion rates
Oh,
and
well, yeah.
employee retention.
That's a big claim. What's the connection there?
Well, you might think, oh, it's just fewer incidents,
Right. Fewer distractions.
fewer distractions, but it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
Think about it. When employees feel safe
Mm-hmm.
and respected at work, they're going to be more engaged with their work. They're going to be more focused on their work. And research has shown
Okay.
that companies with strong POSH programs see, on average, like X% reduction in employee turnover
Wow.
and Y% increase in project completion rates,
Really?
which is pretty significant.
Wow. Yeah. So it's not just about avoiding lawsuits. It's about creating a place where people can thrive.
Exactly.
And so POSH training, it goes way beyond just saying don't harass.
Right.
It's about actually
Right.
giving people the tools to understand what harassment looks like and how to report it.
Absolutely. It's about empowerment.
Okay. You sure?
When people understand the nuances of harassment.
Yeah. Like what even is it?
Yeah, like what is and isn't appropriate behavior and what are their rights?
Mm-hmm.
And how do they navigate a situation if something happens?
Yeah.
They feel more confident and more in control. And
Right.
and this clarity really helps to reduce misunderstandings
They're very
and, potential misuse of the law.
Right. Yeah. So it's really about giving people
Yeah.
the knowledge and the resources to create a safer space
Absolutely.
for themselves and
Yeah.
and for each other. But I mean, let's be real for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
a lot of companies probably still see this as a legal burden,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
like just a box to check to avoid lawsuits.
And that's
Yeah.
that's still a mindset
Yeah.
in a lot of places, but
Yeah.
ignoring POSH training can be really risky.
Oh, yeah.
And not just because of legal action, but because of the damage it can do to a company's reputation and culture.
Right.
Even if a company wins a lawsuit,
Yeah.
think about all the negative publicity
Right.
and the employee distrust.
Totally.
Yeah.
That could be super damaging in the long run.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. It's kind of like sweeping dirt under the rug.
Exactly.
Might seem easier at first, but eventually
Yeah.
it's going to be a much bigger mess.
It's going to come back to bite you.
Yeah. And especially today,
Yeah.
information travels so quickly.
Right.
A company's reputation is so valuable.
It is. And we can't forget the human cost as well.
Yeah. That's an important point.
Yeah.
It's not just about numbers and legal battles. It's about people's lives
Absolutely.
and their well-being.
Yeah. And that actually brings us to another crucial aspect that's highlighted in the research,
Okay.
which is how POSH training can help build a more positive and productive work culture.
Okay. So how does POSH training lead to a better work culture? Is it just about having a policy or?
Yeah, having a policy is a good start,
Okay.
but it's not enough.
Right.
What's really interesting is how POSH training encourages companies
Okay.
to develop what are known as redressal systems.
Redressal systems.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, for those who aren't familiar with the term,
Yeah.
these are basically structured processes for employees
Right.
to, raise concerns or complaints and have them addressed
Gotcha.
fairly and transparently.
Instead of just saying, here's the policy,
Right.
they're creating mechanisms for people to
Exactly.
actually, speak up.
Yeah, and to feel like
Yeah.
their concerns will be taken seriously.
Does the research show that those are effective?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, when employees feel confident that their concerns will be taken seriously
Mm-hmm.
and dealt with effectively, it creates a sense of trust
Right.
and psychological safety in the workplace.
No, it's like building a foundation of respect.
Exactly.
Right.
And this is a really proactive approach. It's
Yeah.
not just about
Yeah.
avoiding lawsuits. It's about creating a culture
Right.
where respect and inclusion are valued.
Okay, so putting all these policies and systems into place might seem like
Mhm.
kind of a lot, especially for larger companies.
Right.
You know, if they have employees all over the place or working remotely.
Yeah.
Is that where e-learning comes in?
Yeah, exactly. E-learning has become a really popular solution for POSH training,
Okay.
and for good reason.
What is it?
Well, it offers a way to
Yeah.
reach a diverse workforce,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of location or schedule.
Okay. Yeah, that's a huge advantage nowadays.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I've always been a little skeptical
Mm.
of online training in general.
Sure.
Does it really sink in, or are people just clicking through it?
Yeah, and that's a valid concern. It
Yeah.
really depends on the quality of the program.
Okay.
Thankfully, there have been
Yeah.
huge strides in e-learning design in recent years. And platforms like Paradiso Solutions is one that's mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
They offer things like
Mm.
interactive modules, real-life scenarios,
Oh, wow.
even virtual instructor-led sessions
Okay.
to keep people engaged.
So it's not death by PowerPoint anymore.
No.
But even beyond engagement, how can companies be sure that employees are actually learning this stuff?
Well, accountability is key.
Okay.
And a lot of these platforms offer features
Yeah.
that allow companies to track participation,
Okay.
completion rates, and even assess understanding through quizzes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So it's not just about delivering the information, it's
Yeah.
about making sure that it actually sticks.
Exactly. And that brings us back to what we were talking about earlier, the impact on workplace culture.
Hmm.
When POSH training is done right,
Yeah.
it can really influence how people interact with each other,
Right.
how they communicate, and how they approach potentially sensitive situations.
So it's like more than just a...
Right. It's more than just a legal requirement.
Yeah.
It's part of the company's DNA.
So what does this mean for our listeners?
Right.
How can they apply these insights to their own workplaces?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
How do we actually put all this into practice?
Well, I think it starts with awareness,
Okay.
just understanding the full impact of POSH training beyond just the legal stuff.
Right.
That's a huge step forward because it helps us see it as an opportunity for change.
Okay, so for someone listening right now who's thinking, okay, all this sounds great,
Yeah.
but I'm just one employee.
Right.
What can I really do?
I would say don't underestimate the power of your voice.
Oh, okay.
Even small actions
Go.
can make a difference.
Like what?
Well, you could speak up if you see something inappropriate
Okay.
or suggest improvements to your company's reporting system.
Mm-hmm. So encourage
Yeah.
more open conversations about respect in the workplace or
Exactly.
advocate for better training programs.
Absolutely. And if you're in a management position,
Right.
think about how you can create a space where employees feel safe to speak up.
Mm-hmm.
Actively solicit feedback.
Right.
Make sure those reporting processes are clear and transparent,
Right.
and demonstrate that you take these matters seriously.
So it sounds like a lot of this comes down to
Yeah.
just better communication.
Absolutely. Open communication and trust.
Yeah.
Where people feel comfortable raising concerns without fear of retaliation.
And creating a positive work environment.
Right.
It's an ongoing process.
It is. It's not a one-time fix.
Yeah.
It takes commitment, open dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
a willingness to learn and adapt.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive into POSH training, what's the one thing?
I think the biggest takeaway here
Yeah.
is that POSH training, when it's done well, it's about so much more than just avoiding lawsuits.
Right.
It's about creating a workplace where
Yeah.
everyone feels respected, valued, and safe to do their best work.
It's about creating a culture of respect,
Exactly.
not just because it's the law, but because it's the right thing to do.
It is, and it benefits everyone.
So we need to move beyond compliance
Yes.
and embrace the full potential of POSH training.
Well said. And remember, this conversation doesn't end here.
Right.
Keep learning, keep asking questions, keep pushing yourself and your organizations to build a better future of work.
Awesome. Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time, keep exploring and keep the conversation going.